What's going on, YouTube? So full-size trucks are Americans' favorite mode of transportation.
And with the new Tundra being out for a couple years at this point, we're finally seeing Toyota add some very notable feature upgrades for 2025.
So with those updates and more luxury than even before, is this a worthy rival to all the competition? Well, let's go ahead and find out. All right, let's go ahead and start things off under the hood with the spec dump. So you've got a few different choices as to what you have under the hood. We have the top dog option though. This is the iForce Max. It's a 3.5 liter twin turbocharged V6 plus your hybrid componentry, making 437 horsepower. That's paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission, and our combined fuel economy today is coming in at 20 mpg.
Now, the base price for the Tundra for 2025 is $40,000. And if you're looking to buy a Tundra or any new vehicle, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes to get the best price. Now, we're, of course, going to be showing you what that performance is like later on a test drive. We'll also be getting things like our sound level reading. And after that, discussing resale and reliability.
But let's go ahead and close up the hood because this model is far from $40,000 and it's got a lot of luxury features to show off. Now, when it comes to trucks, it's really all about getting what you want. And there's a lot of owners that have a wide range of things that they need or want from a truck. Of course, the Tundra is the same way. You've got a ton of different trim levels you can choose from. Today we have the 1794, which is a very luxurious version, and you can tell that right up here in the front. We have a lot of chrome in terms of our grille. It's a very large, kind of boxy grille as well. And there, again, will be slight differences between the different trim levels, but most of them do have Tundra written out right through there. Now, in terms of our headlights, this trim does get the premium LED headlights. So you've got the crystal headlights there in the stacked design. They are projector LEDs. You also have the dynamic turn signal indicator, and then your nice T-shaped daytime running light. Fog lights are located right here. Now, in typical truck fashion, there's not a ton going on in the rear, but we do have some specific 1794 badging.
Yeah. That's right over here, stamped into the tailgate. And as far as some other design elements, we do have Toyota branding right here in kind of a chrome finish. And then let's check out our taillights. This, of course, is a high-end version of the Tundra, So that does mean we're going to have the very premium LED taillight unit. It actually has the sequential turn signal indicator. And then our reverse light is going to be integrated down in the bumper, and it's also going to be LED. Now, speaking of the bumper, look past the snow, and you'll find a chrome bumper here on the 1794 model. And as far as your tow rating is concerned, it does vary largely depending on the trim level. You start at a low end of 8,300 pounds and go all the way up to over 12,000 pounds. And this version, as tested today, is sitting over 10,000 pounds, about 10,300. So really impressive towing. You also do have the available rear auto-leveling air suspension. But beyond towing, this is a truck after all, so let's go ahead and talk about the bed. Now, I'll go ahead and lower the tailgate down, and you'll notice that it does behave a little bit differently, and the reason for that is because a big 2025 change is that we're now having a fully power tailgate with the really cool kind of knee-up ability. So if your hands are full after you unload something from the tailgate, you can literally just knee it back up. That's really cool. It's something that we saw first on the Toyota Tacoma, and now it's coming to the Tundra lineup. But let's go ahead and open up the bed and talk about that. We have a power deploying side step as well, which is really helpful in getting into the bed itself. Speaking of the bed, it's 5.5 foot on this model. You can also get versions of the Tundra with a longer bed for those of you that need that ability. Additionally, we do have LED lighting on both the sides. We have a little rail, as well as this model has the bed cover installed on it. So that's an available option. Over on the right side, you have a household outlet to power all of your tools and anything that you'll need in that respect. I do want to point out that this side step really does make it super easy getting in and out, so I really like that. Additionally, there are buttons located on the taillight itself, so you can actually just kind of elbow it, and that will go ahead and shut up the tailgate as well as put this power deploying step back into place.
Now, as far as the wheels are concerned, you've got a lot of different ones to choose between. Here in the 1794, we have 20-inch contrast alloy wheels. The top size is going to be 22-inch alloys. That comes on the capstone trim level. One thing I do want to point out is that for 2025, Toyota is offering a new package. It's called the TRD Rally package. And that's going to add several different things around the vehicle, but I'm mentioning it right here because it gives you all-terrain tires. You have a gray finish around the wheel arches for this trim level. Up top, you have the chrome finish on the large mirrors, and of course these are fully loaded with all the features that you're going to want as a luxury trim level, including auto dimming on the driver's side, blind spot monitoring, heating, and power folding.
Now, as you heard me say at the bed portion, there are several different sizes you can get. A 5.5 foot bed is what you see here, 6 foot, or even an 8 foot bed on your more basic trim levels. Also, if you choose a high-end model, that's going to come standard with the full 4-door setup. You can also get a half-door setup if you prefer to get that as well. Now, as far as your safety systems are concerned, you're going to get every single one of those as standard equipment here on the Tundra. That's even going to include things like adaptive cruise control. But guys, there is a very important interior change that we need to talk about. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We started young, and since then we have reviewed over 2,000 vehicles at every price point.
No matter what you're looking for, from humble to high-end, we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family.
Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the latest cars. All right, now let's go ahead and move to the interior. First, here's your key fob, just your typical Toyota key fob. Of course, you have standard smart entry on board. And getting inside, just reach behind the handle. That will unlock the door. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that we have the available power running boards. These are standard on the capstone model, and they go out a nice long distance there, so it makes getting in very easy. Now, taking a look inside the interior, this is actually our first time in the 1794 model, and it really does spoil you with a lot of luxury. It's got a very rich design, and I think that begins with the overall color scheme. So obviously we've got this brown interior. It's very rich looking overall. We have standard real leather seats with the perforation. You have a little bit of color contrast right there in the middle, but a really luxurious color scheme and stitching details. The seats themselves are 12-way power adjusting with 4-way lumbar support. You also have memory seats on your top trims in addition to that. And then, of course, I can't forget to talk about something that's a big new thing for the seats themselves, and that is the fact that we've got massage. It is a new thing for 2025, really ups the luxury ante, puts it ahead of some rivals and matches some of the other rivals, but this is a really good massage as well. I think that's something to highlight. But let's go ahead and get inside. Now, in addition to the seats, we have rich materials all throughout the cabin. That begins over here with the door trim. You have a leatherette through here, leatherette through the center section, and more across the top where you can rest your arm. As we move to the upper dashboard, this is all finished in the leatherette. It is hard touch in this one little section. And then the center part here, I do want to highlight this because this is a genuine walnut wood trim. And if you want this beautiful wood, you have to get this trim or the capstone model. It even has this nice engraving inside of it. It's very luxurious looking. It's on the door trim as well. And then all through here is finished in that same color of leather with the contrast. More wood through here, more leather through here. Overall, just a very solid and luxurious truck interior as we expect. And let's go ahead and start it up. All right, let's dive into some individual features. Now, of course, like we were saying, this truck really goes across a giant spectrum of price points and trim levels. We're going to focus this into interior section, really on just the more luxurious trims at the top of the lineup, including with our gauge cluster. Of course, you're going to have the full digital cluster on board. The graphics do represent the hybridization, and you can reconfigure them as well. And then you have an additional head-up display. Pulling back, you've got your rain sense wipers. You also have a nice leather-wrapped steering wheel. with the perforated leather there on the outside edges. The steering wheel itself is power tilt and telescoping on your upper trim levels, and of course you have standard heating as well. Now let's come over here and take a look at interior storage. Big truck, you want to see big amount of storage. First of all, underneath the wood, you have kind of a little hidden cubby. Put something small there. This actually opens up independently, and then we can open the broad console up and you'll see a lot of donuts inside. As a matter of fact, we've actually maxed out the donuts. So we only bring 2 dozen with us, and that's how many fit inside this center console. So the volume is A+. You have 2 cup holders underneath of there. Nice big wireless phone charging pad and a little bit of additional storage. But you don't have a storage shelf, which is something interesting because you seem like you would have enough space for it, especially since the Tacoma has that. Now moving over here to our shifter, just a traditional style. It's got a big feel in the hand. Bump over here to the left if you want to shift manually. No paddle shifters on the steering wheel though. Going into reverse, our upper end trim levels give you the 360 camera. As you can see, you've got that overhead view and the active trajectory, and then a big selection of different views you have down here at the bottom, including the bed view if you have something back there you need to keep an eye on. You have an electronic parking brake with brake hold. 4-wheel drive controls are right here. This is also where you can adjust your drive modes and activate your tow haul mode. And then speaking of, you have a trailer brake controller integrated right there. Right to the center section, we have our dual zone automatic climate controls. Very simple to adjust that up and down with those big knobs. Everything is physical. You also have physical controls for your 3-stage heated seats. Ventilated seats are also included on this trim level and the equivalent trims as well. You have a knob for your volume knob. You have a knob for your audio system, and this is going to be a 12-speaker JBL sound system on the top 3 trims. Let's give it a sample. Now, like we've said in the past reviews of the Tundra, this JBL system is very bass heavy, so it doesn't quite have the crisp sound quality of some of the rivals, which have kind of higher end sound systems from Harman Kardon and other brands. Nevertheless, let's take a look at the infotainment system. We have a very large 14-inch display on board. It's nice and close to the driver. It's got the latest Toyota system with very large graphics, and it's super simple to use overall. The features that you're going to want to know about, of course, integrated navigation is included. You also have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And by the way, if you want to get into your massaging seats, that's the steps you have to do to get there. I kind of wish they'd have a button on the actual seat itself. Nevertheless, once you get in here, you've got a lot of different options. You can set the intensity over there as well. Now up top here, we've got the auto dimming mirror with the digital camera system, and HomeLink universal remotes are built in. Capstone, 1794, and Platinum all are going to come standard with this large panoramic sunroof, and the front panel does open up.
Now let's go ahead and talk about the rear seat area in this Tundra. Now, of course, we do have the full 4-door Crew Max, as they call it, version, and oh my goodness, there is a ton of space back here. Comparatively to something smaller like a Toyota Tacoma, this is a huge upgrade. We actually reviewed that right before getting into this, and I can tell you this feels so much bigger. Now, what are those space figures? Let's go ahead and dive into it. So 41.6 inches of legroom and about 38.5 inches of headroom. So overall, those are really good space figures. It's going to be pretty much on par with most of the other full-size options that you might be looking at. Not quite the largest option, but very good for the average person. This seat is adjusted to Drew, who is 5'8". I'm 5'9", and we are sitting at a full foot of knee space. That is so much, guys. It feels very spacious. Also, my feet can easily slide up underneath of the seat. So really very happy. Also, if we fold down the center armrest, we have 2 cup holders inside of here. Additionally, Toyota is going to continue to include the full sliding down back window. I think that's a really nice feature that you don't see on hardly any trucks. It's really a unique thing. Now, as far as other features here in the center, as you can see, we have a big cup holder setup, perfect for a big Stanley water bottle. Down below that, we're going to have some really nice buttons, heated back seats, as well as ventilated back seats. Even here on the 1794, it actually comes on Platinum 1794 and Capstone grades. Down below, we have a USB-A port, a USB-C, and we also have a household-style outlet. Now, as far as underfloor storage, let's talk about this. You just lift the seat bottoms up. That does allow you to, fold the seats up for anything you want to store back here, but there's not going to be any specific under-seat storage if you choose the hybrid model. That's actually where some of those battery components are, so that's something worth noting. Now, over on the door trim, one really nice feature on the 1794 and above would be your rear window sunshades. You're also going to have a really nicely done one with a lot of leather, even the open pore wood on this model as well. And then down at the very bottom, ton of door storage. Well, guys, here we are behind the wheel of the 2025 Toyota Tundra. In this test drive, we'll be discussing quite a few different things, as you can see on the screen right now. We'll also be getting things like our sound level reading, but first we need to go ahead and start with a hard acceleration.
There we go. Nice acceleration above 60 miles an hour. Now, like we were talking about at the beginning, you have three different powertrains, or at least three different power figures, but we have the high-end hybrid model, so it's the iForce Max. What this is a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 paired with your hybrid componentry. Makes big power numbers, 437 horsepower, 583 pound-feet of torque. And you can definitely feel that just by how effortless the acceleration is. This is obviously a big truck, but when you put your foot down, she scoots.
Yeah, absolutely. That 583 pound-feet of torque really just pushes you back in your seat. And it is worth noting, if you're looking at some of the other rivals, such as the Silverado, GMC Sierra, those vehicles top out around 460 pound-feet of torque. So it's more power and more torque than some of its main competition, which is really quite good. It's also a hybrid system, although, just to clarify what Toyota means by a hybrid system is this is more focused on power than, good fuel economy. It's certainly not like a Prius or anything. It essentially turns the engine on as soon as your foot hits the gas, but it does, turn off at red lights and things like that, but it's mainly focused on giving you that additional performance, that 583 pound-feet of torque.
Technically, it can go up to 18 miles an hour, but you'd have to be very, very ginger with the accelerator.
Now let's talk about the other versions of this powertrain. Essentially, what you're going to get standard equipment is just a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 without the electric components. On the lower-end models, that makes 348 horsepower. On the limited trim levels and above, it makes 389 horsepower. It still has really good torque figures at 479 pound-feet. So really good stuff there, but if you want the most power as well as, best fuel economy, choose this iForce Max hybrid system.
It has a nice burly sound to it, although of course, a lot of that is fake noise coming in through the speaker system, but I don't really mind because it makes it seem like a V8. And let's talk about the other element of the powertrain, that is the 10-speed automatic transmission. So just like in other Toyota and Lexus trucks, this is a good mate to this powertrain. Even though you have 10 speeds, it doesn't get confused or anything. It has good shift logic. You can shift through multiple gears at once as needed, and overall it's good and smooth.
Yeah, power is going to be routed to the ground via either two-wheel drive or available four-wheel drive. And let's talk about the fuel economy. So we're going to be sitting at 20 miles per gallon combined for this iForce hybrid model with the four-wheel drive system. Honestly, that's not terrible fuel economy. You would certainly get worse fuel economy out of the V8 rivals, such as the Silverado and GMC Sierra. Now, as far as compared to the F-150 Power Boost, that is still going to be worse fuel economy than that. That's one of your fuel economy leaders if you're looking for a hybrid truck. But we're just taking off here and we're going into our highway section, and now is a great time to discuss overall ride quality. Now, when you get in this Tundra, certainly you are going to feel very top of the world, just your overall ride height and that type of thing. And your ride itself is going to also be quite good, especially if you choose for one of these higher end models. Specifically, the Platinum 1794 and the Capstone will come standard with an adaptive variable suspension. That's going to take out your truck-like vibrations and make the overall ride experience a little bit more luxurious. I do want to point out, though, you cannot get a full air suspension here on the Tundra. You can get a rear air suspension. That's mainly just for leveling when you're towing, but you cannot get the full air suspension like you can on a Ram. So a Ram would certainly have a little bit of a more luxurious ride overall, but this is certainly quite good. I'm also getting a massage, and this massage is really nice as well. I think you'll really appreciate that this year. Now let's go ahead and get our sound level reading. I'll go ahead and toggle us to fan speed 1. We are getting a reading of 64.2 decibels. And I don't have to sit here and guess how it compares to the competition. I can find that at carconfections.com/sound level readings. Now, compared to other trucks, that certainly is going to be a little bit on the louder end. Do be aware, though, we are under kind of some winter conditions here. There's a lot of wind. And also, I will point out, there is quite a lot of noise amplification in here. Like Drew said, in order to give you that traditional truck-like feel, they've kind of pumped in a V8 Burley growl. So I think that's a lot of what the sound level reading is picking up on. All right, let's get into our slam dunk and airball. Drew, what's our slam dunk for the 25 Tundra?
That would be the updates that they have made. It's nice to just get some bonus things basically, and massaging seats in particular is a real standout feature just because of how good it is.
Yeah, this is definitely a nice thing on the luxury trim levels to elevate your overall experience. I think they did a good job with these updates. Now, as far as the airball is concerned, what we're going to say is just the hybrid fuel economy on this Tundra. It's not terrible. It's 20 mpg, but compared to a F-150 Power Boost, that's going to come in quite a bit better. And I wish that Toyota had been able to eke out maybe a few extra mpgs. They're really good on their other hybrid systems for getting the good mpgs. This one, not so much. And let's go ahead and talk pricing for this Tundra. We started at a little over $40,000 this year. The price increase for 2025 is not much. It's actually less than $1,000. If you want the 1794, that starts at $64,000. As you can see, we have the 2025 Tundra 1794. We also have four-wheel drive as well as the hybrid max system. That's going to mean we start at $71,000. We also have a few different options on it. 1945 is your destination charge. All told, we're sitting at $77,304 for this fully loaded 1794. The Capstone is around $80,000. Now, if you're looking to buy a Toyota Tundra or any new vehicle, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. The reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation and can help dealers start competing on price. We even have a monthly payment tool, so if you'd like to check that out, once again, a link is provided in our video description, and we also have a pinned comment at the top of this video. But buying a new truck is about more than just the original MSRP, so let's go ahead and dive into resale and reliability. First up, let's talk resale value. As an economics graduate myself, Drew and I took the time to develop what we think is a good estimate for this Toyota Tundra's potential resale value. We estimate that after 5 years and 60,000 miles, it'll be worth 64.5% of original MSRP, and after 10 years and 120,000 miles, 41.4%. Now, it's worth noting those are very impressive resale value percentages. It's actually the second best out of any vehicle make on the market. It's really, really good. And in the 10-year metric, it is one of the very, very best. So that's certainly something worth considering, especially if you're cross-shopping between other vehicle brands.
Now, we've also done the same for reliability by developing the Combined Reliability Index. This takes into account several reliability studies and combines them in a way that gives you a more holistic picture. In this regard, Toyota is our top-rated brand, well above the overall industry average for all brands.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about our resale values, our reliability data, or our methodology, be sure to go to carconfections.com/resale and carconfections.com/reliability. Buying a new vehicle is a very big decision, so you want to make sure you're making a smart purchase, especially if you're cross-shopping between different vehicle brands. Additionally, this Tundra is protected by a 3-year 36,000-mile basic warranty, 5-year 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. You additionally do get 2 years and 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. And guys, that's going to be it for our in-depth review of the 2025 Toyota Tundra. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, which we hope you did, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to get the latest car reviews such as this, and you're also going to be a part of our Car Confections family. We have a lot of fun on this channel. I promise you won't want to miss out. If you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.